Motherhood has totally changed me. I think the thing that I most appreciate about it is that it has forced me to slow down and to enjoy the simple things of life. The making cookies, the puzzles, the Lego.
Motherhood has affected me in a way that it makes me think about everybody else before me. Before I had kids, I used to have focus because I was studying in medical school and I'd have to have quiet. With children, you learn that there is no more quiet for you. However, it is the gift that keeps giving.
It's made me more forgiving and more giving. And also in the stages, he just moved out. He just moved away for good. Oh my God, I'm going to make myself cry. And I define myself differently every time he's gone through something. And so this is a new definition of motherhood. You give them roots and then you give them wings. And so he's off flying and I'm terrified, but I'm so proud of him. And so, yeah, motherhood has made me a much nicer person.
Well up already. Dr. Karyn Gordon is here. We want to talk about our mom. So that's mine right there.
Oh, and that's
gosh.
mine.
Love her to pieces.
Oh my goodness.
There's nothing like a mother, and yes. I'm just, you know, everyone knows I love my mom, so I talk about her constantly, but she does the same thing about me. She's my agent, Marjorie.
She's your agent.
Oh my God.
Oh,
TTC bus drivers know about me because my mom's on the bus. Yeah, she will tell them that.
She's so proud of you.
Now, you've learned so many lessons from your mom.
Oh my goodness. I love my mom. And you know what's really interesting? This is a really good process. I actually think everybody should do this.
Okay.
Where last night I basically, with a nice glass of red wine, I'm like thinking to myself, what are the lessons that I have learned from my mom? And it literally, it's like cathartic.
Yeah.
You know, and I was actually surprised about it, like how much actually came out.
What's good about actually thinking about it is because there are so many lessons, and like we were saying before, it's the things your mom say, but it's also the things that she doesn't say.
Yes.
You're learning something in all of that. So it makes sense to sit down and actually map it out.
Yes.
What are the lessons?
Okay, so the first one, and what's really interesting is my mom and I are extremely different.
Okay.
We're very different personalities, we have different interests, but we had this incredible, incredible relationship. So the first one is she actually taught me to eat well and be active, and I'll tell you why this is important. In our home, my sister was diabetic, and so it was very controlled in terms of what food we actually had. But I don't ever remember my mom ever counting calories or talking about diets, ever. And this is kind of under one of those categories where I didn't really even think about it. I don't even remember thinking about eating. It was just about you eat well, food is your fuel.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's where you got that from.
That's where I got it from.
Because I got food is my fun.
Right. Maybe I should have got that. Maybe I should have got that. Yeah, right. Yeah, like to me it was so, I love that, like, so it wasn't a focus.
Okay.
It wasn't a focus. And
very cool.
So very cool.
Now she also taught you don't focus on what other people think or external pressures. What a huge lesson that is.
What a huge lesson. And I remember being in high school and I'd have friends say, well, my mom is saying, well, what would so-and-so think? Or what would the grandma think? Or the neighbor think? I don't think I ever heard those words of my mom. It was very, she just didn't care. She did not care about what other people thought. She didn't care about external stuff. She didn't care about brands. If anything, I kind of wish she did care a little bit. Because I love fashion, right? And I love clothes. And later on when she went back to work, she kind of got into that a little bit. But there's something very powerful about not caring.
Right,
not caring.
But she would send you in the knockoff running shoes and the knockoff jeans and the generic whatever. So yeah, that's tough for a child, but what a great lesson
What a great lesson. What a great lesson. And I think, again, it's very freeing. When you don't really care what other people think, it's huge. Very, very freeing. So that was a huge one.
A lot of people go through life trying to get to that point. So that's amazing that you were brought up with that. Let your values guide your decisions.
Oh,
that's
boy.
a huge one.
Huge one. So you got to understand, my dad was a Baptist pastor. My mom was a chaplain. So this is my background.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that, eh? So very, very strong faith background.
Yes.
And so this whole thing around values, your values drive your decisions. What are your values around faith? What are your values around relationships? What are your values around education? Karyn, let that guide you, not what's easiest, not what's popular. And again, it's those kind of things that you don't even really think about how powerful they are until later on you get a little bit older, you're like, gosh, that was really, woof, that's good. But you know, when I teach my careers course, I will tell you there's a huge component around values, and when I get to that part, people's jaws drop. They're like, "Oh my goodness, that's the piece that I'm actually missing in my life."
That's so interesting, because I think a lot of us don't make that connection, and that's probably why you're making, you know, hopefully your faith is pushing good decisions, but that's why you're hopefully doing the right thing.
Right, and
it comes from somewhere.
It comes from somewhere, and we all have values. We all have it, so we have to kind of know what are they, and then is that the center part of our life? or is it kind of like left behind? Because there's been a lot of research that people who are the happiest are people who actually are like the decisions that they make are lined up with their values.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense to me.
Okay.
Join the spirited child, don't fight it. Talk to me about that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I was a spirited kid.
What do you mean by spirited?
Spirited kid, like you tell me to go right, I want to go left.
So you're sassy.
So a bit sassy. Some people would say stubborn, but I would say strong-spirited. So when I coach a kid who's strong-spirited, I totally get them. And you have to parent a strong-spirited kid differently. So what my mom learned very quickly is she would say, so if I wanted to do something, she wouldn't say, well, that's a silly idea, because then a stubborn or spirited kid just wants to keep doing it.
Yeah.
She would say, oh, that's interesting, Karyn. She said that all the time. Oh, that's interesting. So what's the plan? Okay, so class example, I think I want to go into movies. So I say to my mom, I'm 17, I think I'm going to become an extra in a movie. So she's like, oh, that's interesting. So what's your plan? I'm like, well, I've got a meeting tomorrow with an agent. Like, I literally picked up the phone. So she's like, okay, I'm coming with you. So she came down with me to Toronto. We met this agent. And I'm not kidding you. She's like, you've got your first job tomorrow. You're going to be Goldie Hawn's double. I am not kidding you. So I'm 17 years old. So my mom said to me, she's like, I'll do this on one condition. A, I'm coming with you, and B, when you're on set, you're doing your homework. If you can do those two, I'll partner with you.
So you did it?
So I did it. So
did you ever think of going down that career path? Did you want to be an actor, or at some point you were like, this isn't for me?
This was kind of, it was just, you know what, it was just kind of fun. It was just fun. But you know, the funny part was that when we were filming, and I'm on set, and you know, as Goldie Hawn's double, my mom is back, because she always went with me. That was very important for the security part, right? The safety part. But they were short. They needed somebody in their 40s. And so they literally, she's just having her cup of coffee, right? They're like, you come here. And so the next thing is she's in the movie. I know. So you could actually see my mom in the movie. It's like hilarious. She's like, really, Karyn? I mean, but that was how she parented me. And that was like, I'm telling you, for strong-spirited kids, that's the secret. You join the resistance, you don't fight it.
Okay.
You join them.
I think that a lot of people could learn from that, because I don't think I would do that.
You would, okay. And
no,
I'm telling
as a parent, I would think I would be like, you know what, you got homework to do, kid.
Right,
Let's open your math book to page 78 and get your long division
done. And spirited kids go like this.
Right.
Because they need to learn through experience. So it's a matter of joining them. And I'm telling you, I would not have gone into my field, my profession, if she had not properly parented me that way. She really kind of, even though we were so different, she intuitively really got that part.
Very good, mommy. I love these
really
lessons.
Great
Everybody
mommy.
At home, do this thing tonight.
Yes.
Sit down and write the lessons you learned from your mom.
And then send it to your mom.
Tell her about it for sure.
Tell her, yes.
Well, this week on Cityline, we know it's hats off to your moms. We love our moms. Mother's Day is almost here. We're celebrating our moms with this week's Cityline Reel Challenge. Here's what you have to do. What is the most important lesson you learned from your mother? You can write them all down, or you can just write the most important one. Did she teach you not to sweat the small stuff? Was she good with you as you were a spirited child? Did she show you how to bake the best chocolate chip cookies? You can put your answers on social media. We love them. Hashtag Cityline Reel. Hashtag Cityline Loves Mom. I notice a lot of people out there are just doing their daily mistakes, and they're hashtagging it Cityline Reel, and I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Like people that things are going terribly wrong, and they're just posting on Twitter. This happened, my curling iron is broken, I'm going out with hair that looks disastrous, hashtag Cityline Reel. Tell us about it. That's real life, okay?
Yes, real life.
We love it, we want to be a part of it, and we want to share back and forth. So thanks, Karyn.